a dirt cheap paint job. When I mean dirt cheap, I mean 2 cans of rattle paint and just using maybe 3 pieces of sandpaper of just, I think that's 220, and just pretty much going over it real quickly. It's not, perfect, it's a go-kart, so if I make something look too pretty, it's just gonna not get ridden. It started a fisheye back here, which is no big deal. The motor's gonna scrape this up anyway, and I'm gonna electrical tape this because it was already electrical taped at one time for some reason. But some of the main components of the go-kart look pretty good. So yeah, and as you guys can see, I did mask off the floor, and that's gonna stay the same. So the go-kart's really not even perfect. So yeah, so this paint job just costed me about 10 bucks. So yeah, because look at that, I didn't even mask off the kill switch wire. So yeah, dirt cheap. And I'm probably not gonna paint any of the other components that were on the stuff because they're like bare aluminum, and I don't feel like painting aluminum. So this is just a real quickie because we're going to my uncle's Memorial Day weekend, and it's Saturday, and I didn't feel like spending a whole week on prepping this thing and have me crash into something, or something bad happens. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna put you guys on time lapse, and we're gonna put this thing back together and go from there. So if you guys haven't already seen this is another go-kart frame. Yeah, this is not just a go-kart frame. This is actually my very first go-kart frame, because I can tell, because I gave it to my friend as like this, as just a bare frame, and you guys can see how bent the back axle is, because my friend CJ, me and him were racing down the street. We were both on the sidewalk, and I decided to jump to the right of him, and there was a manhole cover in my neighbor's yard because I was cutting through all the yards, and the manhole cover sticks up maybe about that much, probably like an inch or two, and I whacked that, bent that. It sent the whole go-kart to its side. It came crashing back down. I was sitting over here, and the whole tire locked up because the chain got stuck, and it dragged me maybe 5 feet. So yeah, and as you guys can tell, this is a very expensive racing wheel that I found out somebody spray painted, but this is actually a very old Go Power Sports steering wheel when I traded a John Deere push mower for a whole bunch of go-kart frames and go-kart parts. And this is actually 2 go-karts into one. So yeah. And we can't forget the go-kart frame that CJ built for me. Soon I will get to that. But I want to kind of build my back in the day go-kart, just how it sits. Don't repaint it, don't do nothing, just get it going again and just rip it around. And this is all I had for a seat. It was an old Simplicity seat, just how you see it. bare metal, and it got held down with self-tappers. It was somewhere right in there. And yeah, it was kind of set back further. Yeah, it was somewhere right in that region, because you can actually put your elbow on the gas tank. So it kind of felt like a side, what were those go-karts? Pretty much like the racing go-kart frames, because the motors were like right next to you. But yeah, CJ actually dropped that off this morning, so that was pretty cool of him. And yeah, he had a go-kart just like this too, and this was back in our sophomore year in high school. This is when we were really hot into go-karts and stuff, and I don't know, mini cars, but yeah, whenever I repainted this thing has like 8 coats of black. I have always masked this off because all of our go-karts, well, his go-kart never had one. When I got this one, because we had to cut it. This is a different go-kart because the other floor, the original floor on this part of the go-kart was all rotted out. So my dad and I, we cut it and took that section out and put this one in, and it sits level. The axle's not really level, but I guess I gave him this axle. I don't really remember him. Oh, wait, CJ, if you're watching this, I do remember this. This came out of my red go-kart when I put the live axle in, just like this. Pretty much the same axle. It's not the same go-kart, but yeah, I do remember him. I do remember me giving this to him, because I drilled out these holes and I remembered the red, because I repainted that go-kart white, which I will post a picture right here of what that go-kart actually looked like. And yeah, we stretched the frame, and that was before I put the live axle kit in it, which I do have pictures of that. That's when it was red and black, as you guys see. This is actually my favorite red in spray cans, but we're not going red and black. Well, pretty much we are, because the floor is going to be black. So yeah, do I plan on putting a live axle kit in this one later down the road, or I'm just going to do it to this one and make it look scary fast to where no one's going to really want to ride it, because it's just sketchy. It's going to have the same seat, and it's just going to be like a skeleton. But this is a future build. We just want to kind of worry about this one until it's like done, just like the drag mini bike. So yeah, and plus my brother's mini bike. Yep, there's the mess. My brother's mini bike, which I bought it. It's technically my mini bike, but I just let him ride it. It's got a Comet torque converter on it, and the clutch went out in it, which it's this part right here, which I got a whole new assembly. It's a Comet aftermarket clutch for him, so I'm gonna put that on tomorrow. And I got him a new belt, so he's gonna be ready for Memorial Day weekend as well, and hopefully I will be too, because as you guys can tell, mine's in a chameleon pieces. Yeah, that sounds completely normal. But yeah, I'm gonna let this kind of dry some more. It's already pretty dry, but it still has like that little tacky feeling to it. But overall, it's gonna look like a pretty cool go-kart. You know, it's not perfect. I didn't do it right because I'm rushing, and I just don't want it to look, you know, perfect, because then I won't want to, you know, take it through the yard and, you know, drift with it and, you know, break it. So yeah, all these fish eyes, I don't really even matter because it's a motor plate. The motor's gonna slide back and forth. It's just gonna get all scratched up. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you for watching this. I don't really know what I'm gonna title this video, but yeah, probably a dirt cheap paint job. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. Dirt cheap paint job that you can do for under $10 or under $20, I should say. But yeah, and I got my very first go-kart back in my hands after 4.5 years of me letting go of it for free. So, because I gave it to a friend. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's showing some flashbacks in my head of all the crazy things that me and CJ did our sophomore year with these go-karts. And it's just bringing back good old days of me working on go-karts again and mini bikes. So it's a real good feeling. I will be doing some tractor stuff here and there, but I'm just really not into tractors anymore. You know, I will still take my tractors to tractor shows if I ever do, but it's more go-karts and truck stuff. So sorry if you guys are really attached to tractor videos. That's still gonna be on the channel, just once in a blue moon. I shouldn't really say blue moon, but just every once in a while. Future video on this stuff right here. There's 4 sheets of the green stuff and 1 sheet of this stuff. Thinking about building a lean-to back over here again. The green sections, whoop, those are the green are 10 feet long, and that's just a normal 6. So it's gonna be a pretty big lean-to, hopefully enough to store 3 tractors in, maybe even 4. Do 2 side by side and do another 2 side by side. I don't know. And I got some bricks to make a floor. So yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna build the lean-to, but we're gonna build one, or just build a bigger shed. Comment down below. Build a lean-to or build a bigger shed that has a second story, because that's what my dad keeps on saying. Or just build a lean-to against this garage, concrete it, have heat year-round, and maybe put an air conditioner in it. So let me know down in the comments. So yeah.